Yo, what's poppin' on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Zach Lesage here. Today we're going to be going over the top 5 best budget decks in our Astral Radiance format. So it's one of those things where if you're balling out on a budget, there's a lot of decks in our Astral Radiance format that we have that are just good and they're cheap. So it's a good time to enter into the Pokemon TCG because some of these decks are some of the best decks in the game. The lists are going to be available in the comments below, so check that out. While you're there, give this video a like, thumbs up, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let me know in the comments what decks do you think are going to be in the top 5. Put your best guesses for the list and any decks that you want us to cover here on the channel. That being said, let's jump into our number 5 pick. Let's watching Zach Lesage, the best place to learn about competitive Pokemon TCG. Let's get it. Jumping into our number 5 pick is Durant. Now, Durant's not a deck that has necessarily seen a lot of success in this format, but I do think it is a deck that will see success in this format. As we're seeing all these Turbo Palkia, Turbo Dialga, and Turbo Gengar decks seeing success at tournaments, Durant's sitting here like, wow, I could devour the last 10 cards in their deck and pretty much claim an auto win. The goal of this deck is to deck out your opponent, not drawing prize cards, and you do so by using Durant's Devour attack. Now, in our Astral Radiance format, we recently gained Hisuian Heavy Ball, which allows us to look through our prize cards for basic Pokemon and swap them out with the Hisuian Heavy Ball if we find any there. That being said, we can grab out Durant so we can multiply the effect of Devour and basically get to 4 cards that we're discarding every single turn. Crush Shovel seems like a must, and I mean, there's some counts that I'm playing around with. I think there's 3 Curse Shovel, 3 Galar Mine. I might want to change that up a little bit, but deck list is tight. I mean, Manaphy is necessary because Radiant Greninja can snipe and destroy your entire board. There's opportunities here to see success with Durant is what I'm saying. So between disruption cards, boss order, Galar Mine sticking something to your opponent's Pokemon so they can't really bring anything, or so they can't retreat, using Echoing Horn to bring back a Pokemon with heavy retreat cost, and then bossing ordering that up, Crushing Hammer your opponent's energies away, and again, when you go Curse Shovel on the Durant and they knock you out, and you have to discard more cards, it's really difficult for them to see success. I think Durant is really one of those next up-and-coming decks, so if you don't have these cards already, I totally recommend that you get them. What's going to be our number 4 pick? We'll find out right now. Slipping into our number 4 spot is going to be Malamar. Now, Rapid Strike Malamar has always seen success over the past few formats, and that's because its Rapid Strike Tentacles allows you to rip a bunch of Rapid Strike Pokemon, not Single Strike, definitely Rapid Strike Pokemon, and shuffle them away, and you can scale your damage accordingly. So whatever the big hot Pokemon is right now in that deck's Palkia, you can scale your damage to that. In decks that have scalable damage, basically you can match the HP with the damage output. You should be good to go, especially when you put it on a single energy cost, single prize card attacker. So really, reasonably, this deck hasn't changed. There's nothing that's completely different. There's some lists that play a Rangaroo. I'm not necessarily a huge fan of that. I might change my mind on that, but in order to make space, we had to add Tower of Waters back in because Temple of Sinnoh is existing in this format. And I mean, if they just play down a Temple of Sinnoh and you don't play a Stadium, well, then your Spiral Energy does nothing, and you basically have 2 Psychic Energies to deal with the entire game. There's a lot of things that we can kind of look at when it comes to this deck. I mean, dealing high damage output for a single prize card attacker is always going to be good. Malamar is really never a bad choice. Is it the utmost best choice? Probably not. Similar to Durant, you do need to put Manaphy into this deck so that you have access, so that you don't basically fold to Radiant Greninja, but I do think this deck has some opportunities to continuously see success in this format. So again, really fun deck to play. If you know someone new who's entering into the game, this would be a really good deck that shows synergy and strategy, and it's beyond the Inteleon line that's rotating. I know a lot of people are not necessarily a huge fan of Inteleon, and we also don't know when our rotation is. This deck is really, really budget. Bouncing into our number 3 spot is Blissey V with Miltank. Now, this is one of the decks that I recently featured in my top 10 best decks video. You can check that out on the Zach Lesage YouTube channel every single Monday, or at least I try to. I'm not going to necessarily adhere to any rules or put myself to anything, but I try to have those standards where I maintain it as much as possible. That being said, Blissey is going to be all about getting those energies back with its Blissful Blast attack. You're going to get energies in your discard pile, and Radiant Greninja is a blessing to this deck because you can discard all your energies with concealed cards, get them back, draw some cards, and Blissey Blast to accelerate more energies. Miltank allows you just to win against decks. Sometimes you'll run into a Turbo Dialga deck and they have 0 outs, so you can just put out a single Miltank and they have nothing to deal with Miracle Body because they have nothing but V Pokemon that can attack. This deck is heavily based off Shintaro Ito's list, if not Shintaro Ito's exact list, from the Late Night Series number 41 where they made top 8. So shout out to them for inspiring this deck. I mean, really basic disruption deck. You could see that's kind of a bit of a theme between these decks that we've seen already with Durant. There's a lot of similar cards with Boss's Orders, and here we're seeing things such as Roxanne, Marnie. We see these large healing. We see Path to the Peak. So we're really trying to stop our opponents that are playing these $300 decks with Palkias and Mews and stuff like that from doing anything with these very budget decks. I literally went to my local game store the other day and bought Blissies for like $1 a piece. Maybe I bought them for $2 a piece, but either way, this deck, super budget. You could probably pick this entire deck up for under $30 US. Maybe I'm bad at math. Someone let me know in the comments how much this Blissey deck costs. Super cheap, super effective, and it's super fun to play if you like these disruption-based decks. What's going to be our number 2 pick? We'll find out right now. Sneaking into our number 2 pick is going to be Dark and Lightning Toolbox. So this is very based off of a traditional Dark Toolbox deck, except we've added Lightning type support to help it go against these Palkia V-Star decks that are weak to Lightning. So basically these counter box decks, or however you want to call them, are based off an Inteleon engine where you're going to be searching through things with shady dealings and stuff like that, and then it chooses typing with powerful Pokemon that are basic Pokemon that you could just drop down and attack at different points of the game to have type advantage against your opponent. So in this case, with Mew and Palkia both seeing a lot of success, again, those $200, $300 deck range decks, you could beat them with the Galarian Moltres that you'll find in your local stores, kind of playable binders for 50 cents. You can get them with the Galarian Moltres V that costs $2 on their display counter. That Zeraora that never saw play before, you could drop it down with a Raihan and get a knockout on a Palkia V-Star with a Choice Belt or a super effective Glasses. We have ways to make it happen. Again, after you look past the Inteleon line, this deck is super cheap to build. I'm looking through here, I mean, I know I only own 2 Leons, surprisingly, but I don't even think Leon is more than $1. Like, I'm looking through this list, again, a lot of these decks on this list are about $30 total, so again, if you're trying to get into Pokemon, play a competitive deck, this is probably a top 5 deck, period, in Pokemon standard format right now, and you could build it for $30, and I mean, you could probably buy like a League Battle deck that features Inteleon, or maybe you could borrow some of these cards from your friends. A lot of these, like, let's say if my friend was like, hey Zach, do you have a Zigzagoon? And I'd just be like, here, don't worry about it, it's not even worth my time for the 25 cents that this card may or may not be worth. Very complex deck to play, I do want to put that out there, and I do plan on covering this deck in the near future, but it is one of those things where it is quite effective if you are hitting those Palkia and Mew decks. It can be effective against other decks, but I do want to note that out. Here we are, we're about to jump into our number 1 deck. What deck do you think it possibly could be? Put your best guesses in the comments below now. I do get back to every single person's comments over time, so 100% put those best guesses out right now. And here we have it, our number 1 pick, Regigigas. Regigigas is a deck that absolutely surprised me. I totally thought this deck would be more meme than actual legitimate deck, but it reminds me of Malamar with Psychic Recharge from Forbidden Lights. You're able to accelerate multiple energies and kind of regenerate your attackers with Ordinary Rod turn after turn after turn after turn, which makes this such an effective and compelling deck, especially when you consider that you have Dragon, Lightning, Colorless, Fighting, Metal, and Water type attackers in this deck, and ways that those decks, those types are relevant in this metagame. If we talk about it, I've talked about Palkia a bunch, but Regieleki can knock out a Palkia V-Star. Regirock can knock out an Arceus V-Star. I mean, those are some type advantages, and I mean, Regigigas, if you're hitting a V-Max, you can knock out a Mew V-Max. For a single prize card Pokemon that self-generates energies, multiple energies of different types, to itself, I mean, accelerating special energies from the discard pile is no easy feat, and that's how it works. You just gotta get all 6 Regis in play. Now, I recently did some play testing with my home slice, Frank Persick, the European International Champion, or Championship finalist from this season, and I mean, even though that they had an Ice Cube, and we were testing a matchup where they played Ice Cube, I was able to get around it with electromagnetic sonar and boss's orders and escape rope and stuff like that. I mean, this deck is built and well constructed. So this is my personal list for Regigigas and Regigigas or Regibox. What are we calling this deck? Regardless, this is really a deck where, like, even if the Regis are a buck a piece, that's probably more than the entire trainer line, give or take. Again, definitely under a $50 deck. These decks aren't even really featuring V stars or anything else like that. Basically playing single prize card Pokemon at this point. So if you're looking for a super fun deck to play that is incredibly effective in the metagame, again, another top 5 deck in our standard metagame period, Regigigas is absolutely amazing. Totally give this deck a try. Let me close things off. And that's what we got going on for this video today. Those are the best 5 decks in the Astral Radiance format. Did my list match with your list? Let us know in the comments below. Totally would appreciate that. And again, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and even just saying hi, interacting with this video in any way really does help out a lot. So if you really want to help support the channel, by all means, tell a friend, all that great stuff. I appreciate every single person watching. Again, check the comments for those decks if you want to copy and paste them into PTCGO or anything else like that. That being said, I'll catch up with all y'all later. Have a great one. Peace out, and I'll see you soon. If you're looking for a great deal on some physical Pokemon TCG cards, you can head over to atlascollectibles.com or atlastcg.com. Type in whatever cards you're looking for. So Arceus V-Star is absolutely hot right now. Let's search up Arceus V-Star. You can see they have a great selection of cards, and it's continuously getting new stock all the time. And we can add these to our cart. You can see I already added 1 to my cart. So when you're going to check out, you can use code ZLassage8. Use that code, and you can save off your order. That was $4.80 of savings just off of an Arceus V-Star. It's all in Canadian pricing, and they do shipping across the world. So by all means, check out atlastcg.com, atlascollectibles.com, and use code ZLassage8 to save on your next order of physical Pokemon TCG cards. Check out PTCGO Store.com, the best place to get Pokemon TCG online codes. There's a lot of selection available, and I have a discount code available for the website as well. You can pick up any kind of cards, just going up here. You can add them to your cart in any quantity that you need to get the cards that you need. And you can go to the discount code right over here, and you can put in code ZLassage5 to save 5% on your next order of codes. Are you trying to get better at Pokemon TCG? Well, if you are, you're in the right place. I offer coaching at metafy.gg/@ZachLassage. That link is in the description, and you can pick up a coaching session from me and book it on the website. I likely have availability this week, and you can see exactly what my availability calendar is at any given time. I offer training plans to help players get ready for any of their upcoming events, including getting all the way to the World Championships, or you can pick up a one-on-one coaching session from me and learn the game at your own pace. I offer a variety of opportunities for players to get better at the game, and it's one of those things where there's a lot of players who I've turned into regional, international, and even a world champion along the way. If there's anything that shows, I have an FAQ on the website, so by all means, check it out and get better today. I'd love to help you on your Pokemon journey and be absolutely amazing to see your growth. I truly appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. It means the world to me. And my goal with this channel is to spread my love of the game and knowledge with our entire Pokemon TCG community. If you haven't already, help signal boost this video to other Pokemon TCG fans by liking it, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to the channel. Hopefully we reach our goals really soon. Check out this recommended video, and have yourself a great day. Thanks.